So one of the most important things when you're doing this and you lay everything out on the ground and you look at it and go, ah! Well, this one here, the shape which I want to bring to your attention is this is actually the front wall. So when you lay it out on the ground and you can see this half sort of bent shape, that is the actual front wall. It's more so just to make you aware that the front section has a curve in it, whereas a lot of people at the beginning will think that it's actually a side wall because it's got to go round that van. Well, it doesn't. So this is the front wall, guys. And then you've got your two end walls. We'll now just pop inside and get some close-ups of the connections of the poles. When you open them up and they've got the little hooks, you'll think, oh, where do they go? So let's go and have a bo peep at that. Okay, so here we are, we're actually inside, and all these funny shaped poles which you pull out of the holder and panic about, don't, because it's actually quite easy once you've seen it. And this is why we wanted to show you with the actual annex up, because it's a lot easier to explain. So this is the curved one that comes around at the front of the annex, which is the front wall. Once you've got that front curved one around, you then attach two crossbars, which are one piece, with your crab claw, what I call a crab claw at that end, and it comes in, and this is the hook. So the hook goes into the pre-made adapters, so just into the pre-made adapter there, and comes along here and goes wang over the crab claw onto the curved pole. Okay, I hope that's okay, and we've got a grip on that one. Excuse the pun with the grip, you know, the crab claw. So then you've got a little pole, right? And that's got nothing to do with me, but you've got a little pole, and that's that long, and that just goes in there as a spreader bar. And then you have another pole which attaches, which is a medium size, which attaches to underneath there and goes to the floor and helps support the two cross frames. I hope that that's understandable. Your curved, your two main cross frames, your two supports, and then your hooks go into the supports that are actually on the van. Okay, so the actual other weird pole, I can't even describe it. It's actually a roof support, but it's interesting because at the end of this one, you have like a section which slides over the edge of the awning. So clicks into the awning, comes along, raises the roof of the actual awning itself, comes down and sits into the pin of the spreader bar, which goes from the annex down to the ground. So then you just open this up. This is how you adjust these. You just open and close, lift up and down. Once you've got the height you need, you just lock it in. So this one comes up, it has a pin on the end. Pin goes through the awning, and then the actual crossbar, which is also adjustable, actually sits on top of the pin, comes along here, shunts into the awning casing, and Bob's your mother-in-law. I hope we're up to speed on that. These black ones obviously are the awning arms. I'd mention that because you might be concentrating on everything else and go, well, what are the black ones? Well, they're just the awning arms. A couple of things is we press stud the van when it arrives from overseas, and we bring it in Australian compliant. We put all the press studs on for the skirt, so we do the skirt. And also with the van comes the Velcro fittings for the wall, and we'll actually take a wall off and explain how that fits, and we'll show you. The next part and the actual last part itself is actually the fitment of the walls and also the anti-flap kit. So the anti-flap kit is probably the most fiddly thing to get used to when you first start doing it, but once you've done it a couple of times, as I said, it'll be easy. And it's great. You've got this awesome little room. It does come with a floor, and you've got your skirt. It's all nice and protected. You obviously can pull your kitchen out like you'd probably seen on the video a minute ago. And also then what you can do is you have internal room for your fridge. So you've got your fridge there, your kitchen there, your table there, and your pack of cards and your bottle of wine, and you're just having a great day. Let's pop outside, have a look at a wall, and have a look at how the anti-flap kit is fitted, and then you should be about right, guys. And you're welcome to ring us anytime here at Eagle in Perth, or also Jared at Eagle in Adelaide. Yeah, I'm Dobbin Yin Jared. Yeah, we're here to help. Love it when you're part of the family. So let's go and have a look at this anti-flap kit and the wall. Okay, so here we are. We've got an anti-flap kit which goes up onto the side of the awning vinyl and fits in to the awning casing and the awning section that comes out. Basically what you do, you have an aluminium rod inside of the anti-flap kit which you screw in, and then you fit together like so in there. Once they're joined together, you can then tighten the screws, and whatever distance you need between the casing and the actual awning at the front, you can actually adjust it accordingly. With the actual anti-flap kit, you will see you will see on the end here there's a hook that goes into the awning casing, which is actually at this end here. You'll see inside there the bracket. So the hook goes into the bracket, which is actually inside the casing, like so. Then what you've got here on the end of this anti-flap kit, you have, it might look like a bit like a shotgun, but it's not. It actually is spring loaded, and you can actually pull that back, and then that section then comes up into here and fits into a nut which is just up in here. So then that obviously just fits onto the nut like so. That comes onto here. That section slides into here and goes onto there, and Bob's your mother-in-law. Okay guys, so now the anti-flap kit, we've put it on as explained. We've put it into the bracket here. You've got your spring loader which goes into the bolt down the end. Marty's going to show and demonstrate how these click on. This is part of the anti-flap kit which actually clicks on and holds the actual vinyl roof down onto the actual anti-flap kit. And that's why it's called an anti-flap kit, because it's not flapping around obviously. Then we're going to show you, after Marty's got the anti-flap kit on, the easiest way is that most people don't realise that there's a zip and Velcro on the actual side walls, front and side walls, which just unzips and unvelcros. So when you go to put the wall on, you put this piece on first before you try and put the whole wall up, which is quite aggravating, okay? So make sure you take these off, then you can quite easily zip your wall back on. You could even possibly undo the anti-flap kit, fold it in half and leave this on. So there's a few ways of packing up as well, but I will leave that to you. The other thing which we wanted to bring to your attention while Marty's just having to play with that, on the side of the van, you then had the same system. You've got 3 pieces of Velcro and rope track, which you're probably not going to be aware of. So you've got a fairly long one with a bit of an angle. That is the one for the back. Then walking down the front, you have another small rope one, which goes from here to here, which is a little bit of Velcro and canvas. So that's that one there. And then you have another one that goes from here all the way down to the front, which velcros, which the end wall velcros onto that, as well as the skirt being attached here. Marty wanted me to show you was that there's an actual rope track type scenario in the actual anti-flap kit top piece. That actually clips into the top of the anti-flap, and it goes, Marty will show you, but it goes in that motion and it actually locks in. So this is the anti-flap kit when it's actually clipped on. Marty's clipped that on and he's tightened up the screws, which then hold it into place. So Marty will just show you how to click this one on, and then that's the anti-flap kit done. Okay, so Marty's helped us put on the anti-flap kit. Thanks, Marty. And also, we've now put the rope track, which we took off the sidewall, if you remember, the rope track and the Velcro with the zip. We've taken that off and we've put that into the actual rope track. I think 20 seconds. Now I'll just put the wall up. So now the wall is on. Once the wall's on, you've got little straps here that go around the legs. And that obviously just keeps the legs supported, like so. And then we just go into Velcro mayhem. And then the Velcro piece, which we were saying that slides on, that just Velcros to the wall here. The other section goes to the skirt on the van, at the base of the van, that gets Velcroed onto here. That covers everything up. The plastic goes underneath. So if we have a quick look inside, once everything's all sorted out correctly, just get your plastic folded. Make sure your Velcro's all nice and tight. Plastic folded, and then your floor goes down. I hope that this has been of some help. This awning and annex system is the same on the 10-foot, the 12-foot, the 13-foot, the 15-foot, and the 15 family. The 16-footer or the 160 CXF and the 19-footer do not come with annexes. So what we do recommend is that we can have one specially made for you here in Perth that fit beautifully. And yeah, just we can go from there. So Eagle family, I hope that helps. Any questions, ring Rockingham RV or Eagle Cameras in Rockingham on Dixon Road, 0895 28 1151. Just ask for Jim or Marty or one of the boys, and ring Jared at Eagle in Adelaide. Cheers, have a good day.